Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. Here the Astra Militarum fight the Skari in this 4,000 point apocalypse report. What worked? What didn't? Let's dive right in to this Tactical Corner. Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. This is Skari, your grateful host. Now, we're talking about the Apocalypse Battle Report that was released earlier in the week. And this was 4,000 points of Skari with a Revenant Titan versus 4,000 points of Astra Militarum. Now, I love Apocalypse battles. It allows you to bring larger collections of your models and really kind of play on a grander scale. Now, I prefer Apocalypse games that are based around the tactical gameplay rather than just having to have enough guns to wipe the enemy off the board. And my army reflects this, having a combination of different units. Check the link down below for the actual army list. But I wanted to touch on the Astra Militarum list. This list had a lot of different elements. Long range, air support, the knights, hammers, anvils, infiltrators. All in all, it was very well-rounded for the type of mission that we decided to play. Now, tactically, my opponent strategically placed his knights last. He was really hoping to get a jump on my Revenant Titan, especially given the deployment zone. He wanted to hit the Revenant hard and push through that flank with the knights. Now, luckily enough, I was able to go first. I took the jump on his knights and really forced him into a corner. Now, my Revenant Titan was really cool. He only lasted about 2 turns or 1.5 turns. But all in all, he soaked up a lot of firepower and allowed the rest of my army to really go unscathed. Now, having split up into 2 flanks, I could have easily just focused on one flank and wiped one flank out. Ideally, my opponent, had he been trying to play more to win, would have essentially put his entire army on one of the 2 flanks and forced me to just hit it hard. But he knew that with my speed, I could really move away from his entire army and use my longer range to pick apart his army with lances and disintegrators as he tried to move into position to the center of the board. Now, the Catechins really served their purpose. They were a block, they held some objectives, got some points, and once my Webway Strike Force arrived, I really found that my Coven units were best suited. They were able to run in, so that's the Talos, the Racks, and the Witches as well. They really help wipe out the flank. The biggest reason being they work very well unsupported. So I kept them in little groups. The Witches and the Succubus were an assault group, essentially, that worked with the Succubus itself. And the Coven units worked around the Homunculus, really getting the +1 toughness benefit. Now, the Castellan robots with Core were really hard to deal with. They were very, very tough. And I got a lucky break on that side of the combat when my Archon passed all his Shadowfield saves. They could have easily turned the tide of combat. There was this one key moment in turn 3 when my opponent pulled Core back. And I feel having thrown him into the combat, he could have turned the tide against the Incubi and really busted out his Terminators, which would have completely changed the dynamic of that side of the battlefield. Now, one of the coolest units in the game was the Marauder Bomber. The Marauder Bomber is a 4-year-old Astra Militarum bomber. It's very inexpensive, it's about 400 points, but it lays out so much firepower. So I had to bring it down to some wounds on it to really negate its strength. My Tantalus as well was quite the unit to use. I really enjoyed using my Tantalus. It moves incredibly fast, has decent firepower, and transports troops. Ideally, for Apocalypse, I would like to have 2 of them. Now, all in all, Apocalypse really showcases the variety of your collection, and I highly recommend that you pull a friend aside, build about 3,000 to 4,000 point army, put 2 6x4 tables together, and have at it. Next time we have a battle report, it will be the whole game. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of list you would take to a 4,000 point Apocalypse battle. Thanks a lot to the patrons who make this possible, and this is Skari signing off. Skari out.